before you said that you're on a journey with God. So tell us about how you have evolved over the last 5 years or so.
All right. So in 2017, I believe that my life took a turn. I won't say for the worst, but I felt like I was at a place in my life where I just didn't want to exist anymore. And I love God with all my heart. I spend time in His presence, but I was struggling with a lot of things. And then I got a rude awakening while in my alone time. Rondell Positive, there's this album that is done by Island Worship, and there are other persons on its Dominion, and this song called Purpose Calling. I even have it written down in my journal. The day I heard that song, it literally stirs something on the inside of me. I can't find the words to explain, but I know that my mindset just shifted, that there is something that is being birthed within me that God wants me to do, and just staying where you are is not going to change it. So at that time I was 27, but at the age of 28, I was definitely sure as to what I wanted to do. I have been saved for so long, and let's say I was just existing. I did not know what I wanted, and I know exactly what I want to do right now. I believe that I have experienced so much in relationships, even though I have been basically in one for so long, too long. But there is so much that I have been in this relationship since I was 15, guys. 15.
Okay. Yes. And how do we measure this? How old are you now, if you don't mind sharing?
I am 30.
Okay, so 15 years.
15 years. But the thing is,
you're married. I have like 6 feet already.
No, but the thing about it is that even though I was in a relationship at 15, how I thought when I was 15, my thought process when I was 15, when I was 20, when I was 25 was never the same. So I know that gradually I was changing. There is like my perspective on things, things that I used to find very petty, it doesn't affect me anymore. I have a positive or a different strategy as to dealing with conflict, etc. So even I could not be married. There was a time I was so thirsty because 1 year at PK, all my friends are getting married, and I felt like persons thought that, listen, why we can't married yet? We're going like the man and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, God was taking me through a process of knowing who shuana-gaye was. And I had to go through that process of knowing who I was. I was broken. I was extremely broken. And God Himself knew that was never healthy to take into a relationship. So yes, I was in a relationship, but I'm not just in a relationship anymore, guys. I'm engaged. The thing is, I had to go through a process. It's not about tenure, because it could be in 15 years of misery. It could be in 15 years of stagnation. So the thing is, even though persons might say, oh, yo, girl, I don't want man for 15 years. No, I have grown so much in these 15 years. And I had to go through that process. I mean, I think me gonna really care over that in my marriage, because certain things I'm gonna learn about me. Or I had to date myself. I'm a date myself, girl. I date myself.
What does dating yourself mean?
Finding out what makes you click. Finding about what your strengths are. What is it that makes you so authentic, and what makes you so unique? What makes you so different, and knowing that, okay, this is Shauna. Shauna loves this. Shauna is a talker. Shauna is fat, but Shauna is cute. And Shauna is this. And Shauna is a Christian, and Shauna loves God with all her heart, and she's not going to fit in a party. So it's just finding out who you are and not being ashamed of who you are. Mm-hmm. And I had to go through that journey. I had to work on my self-esteem. I had to find out what was very important to me. I had to restore my relationship with God. I had to go through a ton of other things. It just, I had to.
Your partner's identity, how important is it for your partner to know themselves and love themselves?
That is such an excellent question. I believe this is how important it is to me. Remember I told you that in 2017, that's when I basically started a journey of knowing myself, knowing where I was heading. I felt like God is pulling me in a particular direction, and this is where I'm going. In 2018, I believe that we were supposed to get engaged, I believe. And I remember saying that at this point I don't think we can get married. And when I was asked why, because I said that I don't think you know yourself. I don't think you know as yet where you're headed or what is making you click, because I don't want it to be a case where I'm being pulled in a particular direction and it's like I can't find words to explain the pull, but I wanted it. It's like when a person know that, okay, you're being pulled in this direction and it might take away certain things from the relationship, they don't think it's a case where you don't love me anymore or you're doing this. And I felt like it was very important in that time for my spouse to know who he is and to know what he represents, what he's working toward, what makes him click. And because we're in a relationship for so long, sometimes we take this for granted. So that was extremely important for me, because I could not get married if I never know, kind of. He did not know where he was heading, and now I find it rather sexy and I find it rather attractive because remember I told her that I like someone that is strong and knew where they're headed and stuff like that.
Alright!
I know where they're headed. And now it's like I trust his vision. Where when he expressed to me as to what he wants to accomplish, where he's heading, and then when he expressed to me, I say, "Yo, who the first here?" I know.
Hey.
So that season was extremely important for me. It was extremely important. So I believe it is extremely important because the person can feel as if they are like a weight instead of an asset. And if you feel like that, it's going to cause a lot of conflict in your relationship. So if the person know what they're about and you know what you're about and what my wife is doing or what my fiance is doing is purposeful, yo, Jano, you just gotta have purposeful kids and purposeful everything. It is important, guys. You have to be intentional about your spouse knowing who they are, what they represent. Can never get enough of that.
Jerome, do you have anything to add?
What shade?
Well, I was just enjoying and listening and learning. For me personally, I do support and endorse what shuana-gaye just said. I believe it's important for people to find their identity before they really get engaged and so consumed in relationship, because I personally believe that while a relationship can help you to fulfill your identity or better help you to understand self, you first need to have a foundation of who you are. Therefore, you're not robbed in the relationship or you're not taken advantage of. So when you first understand who you are, then you can actually understand, okay, then I am this, so I should be treated as this. So you will know exactly when you're being treated right, or if things not working the way it ought to work. So I think that's a big, it's really, really important for persons to really pause. Just take time out to find yourself first, then to get to know somebody, because it really doesn't make sense. You spend most time with yourself, but you don't know yourself, yet you're seeking to know somebody else. It don't work. Right? So that's very important. So that's something that a lot of persons need to do. Just slow down and spend. Hold on.
That is so important. And then we have to know that, listen, we grow. You don't want to know that your spouse is stagnant. And I'm still learning this, or I had to learn this that as I was evolving, I know that I was evolving. I know of a fact that I was changing. And I did not know how to communicate that to my spouse, and I don't think he knew how to identify it. I just felt like it was turmoil at that point, because me I change, me I grow, me I go for something, and I don't think he understood, and I don't think I understood how to communicate that. So I think that is also important, because it's easy to get lost in a relationship, because we want to please with spouse, and we want this, and we want to be happy. And oh my God, I just want to please you. I just want to love you. I just love you so much. And then you lose yourself.
That's so true.
Yeah, and then you have kids, and then your kids grow up and they leave, and you're left with this person. You're staring in their face, and you say that you were the one why I did not do what I wanted to do, because Ray.
So instead of enjoying the relationship, you're really enduring it. Yeah, that's not
please just dead. Yeah, forever.
So evolution is a big part of understanding how you kind of navigate the relationship, knowing that your partner is going to change over time.
And also knowing that you will change.
Yeah, and I learned that recently. Kevin on stage.
Kevin on stage, yeah.
And then his wife was on an interview with Michael Todd, because Michael Todd just released his new book, and they were having a after party, and they were just listening from couples and giving guidance as to what to expect. And she said something that I believe is so profound, that one, expect that your spouse is going to change, and know that things are not going to always remain the same in your marriage. I'm almost sure that's something that's because true. If you go in with the perspective that there's a possibility that knowing who my spouse is, if my spouse is someone that likes to take risks, if my spouse is someone that is always coming up with ideas and doing this, and even though they might sometimes not have a clear vision, there's a possibility when my spouse do get that vision right, them are going to pursue it, and there's no way they're going to think the same way, or they're going to see things from a particular perspective. So I believe that we just need to understand that someone changing a relationship is not a bad thing. You should want to grow.
Unless it's a negative.
What?
Unless it's a negative change.
Unless it's a negative change, yeah. You should want to grow. You should want to evolve. You're supposed to challenge you. If the spouse is growing and it's in a positive sense, you should not feel comfortable just feeling like you're lagging along. You want to know that you guys are complementing each other. So, changing a relationship is inevitable, I think it should be attractive when you see that your spouse is changing and growing. Like, oh.
I think it's attractive. It's only not attractive to persons who are not growing. So if your spouse is growing and you are not growing, then you have a reason for worry and fret, because graduation day might very well come soon. Yeah, so it needs to be an onward movement from both parties.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So at least you see why it's important in the dating phase as well, Connie. So this person know what you're about. That's why you have to make sure you know this. No surprises in a courtship.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, because it's important so you know the person. Don't suppose the person is constantly innovating or constantly do things. You know, the person will change, possibly.
And it doesn't mean that you're supposed to be in competition with the person.
No, I'm not competing with you. I already have you, and I don't need to compete with you. I don't need to spoil this.
Needs to be collaboration.
We're a team.
Yes, we're balancing each other.
So true.